Hey guys, in this tutorial we're going to be talking about sizing and pricing your designs. And where you can see that on your listings, when people go to your shop and they find a listing they like, they can select the size and the color. So if they go to size here, that's how we price your decals based on the size. So for example, on this map with the quote underneath, we can offer it in a few different sizes, and then you see the various pricing on the side of it. The rule of thumb is 48 inches. Our vinyl rolls that we actually buy, they're 50 inches wide by 50 yards long. And to kind of put that in perspective here, if you imagine from this box right here, this long box represents the vinyl, and this gray box right here represents our vinyl cutter. So this is kind of a visual and overhead visual of the vinyl going through the vinyl cutter. So from here to here is 50 inches. Now we can't actually make vinyls that are 50 inches long, like going this way, just because the blade inside the cutter will not get from end to end. So 48 inches is the max, and really what I mean is you cannot have both measurements over 48 inches. You'll see what I mean in just a second here. We'll go over how to figure out the sizing. Now if you click on your design and you go up here, this is usually unlocked, so make sure you lock that and change this to inches. You can enter a width. We'll start with 24. This decal, just a side note, this decal it's pretty detailed because it's a lot of words. So when we create these, when we produce them, if this box represents the piece of vinyl, so this vinyl goes through the machine, the blade cuts out all these letters, and what we do is go in and we weed out all this excess material, and we weed out all the material in between the letters and the design that doesn't need to be there, and then you're left with that. So you can imagine how much work it takes to make this one right here. There's a lot of weeding between the letters, a lot of little parts, so it's a lot more time consuming to make a design like this. So we really don't want to offer this one much smaller than a 24, just because when the blade cuts around tiny little letters, sometimes it will rip up a dot in an I, or a period, or a hyphen, or even little letters sometimes. So something like this we wouldn't offer less than a 24, and the more you work with them, the more you'll kind of be aware of what you can and can't offer as far as sizing. And if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask me. I can certainly let you know. But with sizing, go ahead and select that. 24 will be the smallest I want to offer this one. Then I'll probably jump up to a 36. We can see at 36, it's 9.75. I would just write down, I keep a little notepad next to me. I'll write down 24 by whatever, 36 by 9.75. I round it up to 10. You can round it up or round it down within a half inch. It's not going to make a big difference. So just be mindful of that. If I do, let's say we can go up to a 48. 48 by 13. And if I do want to do it bigger, oops, let's say I want to do a 60 inch. That's fine with this because I can actually set it on the cutter and cut it the long way. So it's coming through the cutter, it cuts like this. The problem with it is there's a lot of wasted vinyl up here, a lot of white space and wasted material, and we love the earth and we don't want to harm it, so we don't like to be wasteful, and it costs money, bottom line. So we do charge a premium when we have to turn the vinyl sideways like this. Not much, maybe like $5. But if you get a visual here at 60 inches, I can't cut it this way, so I do have to turn it, and it does create that waste. So the max measurement on either the width or the height is 48 inches, but both measurements cannot be beyond 48 inches. So if I want to cut this one at its biggest size, which would be a height of 48, it will be, I can actually, if I really wanted to, make this design 48 inches tall by 177 inches wide. That's a huge decal, but it can be done. We have done things like this for classrooms and schools. Something that large, it's huge, and it is very labor intensive. It takes a couple people to make something this size, so if you ever have any questions about offering something like that, or you get a custom order, let me know and we'll go over it together. We can do it, we have to charge for it, so be mindful of that. Next, we're going to talk about pricing. The rule of thumb is height plus width divided by 2. So, for example, on this one, actually we'll just go to our page here, and you can see on this we offer 30 by 16, $29. Height plus width, so this would be 30 plus 16, 46, would be 23 divided by, after dividing by 2. We charge 29. This is a really popular design, and there are some words at the bottom. There's a lot of little islands, so it's a little bit more detailed. We do charge a premium for more detail, and again, it's just a little bit more labor intensive, so we charge an extra $5 for that. But the standard rule, we'll go to just a pretty basic design right here with the arrows. You can see 12 by 6 is 18, divided by 2 is 9. We charge $10 for it. That's standard right there. This design is very easy to make just because there's no weeds. We cut it and we pull the excess off around it, and there's no weeding in between. So that would be the standard height plus width divided by 2. It gives you your price. Where the premium comes in, like I said, is for a little more detail. This has detail with all the little islands, with the words. Also, we charge a premium for going over 48 inches. So even with this design, if we can make it at 72 inches long by 48 inches, whatever, we would probably add an extra $5 just to the standard formula, just because again, it's larger, it's more labor intensive, something to be mindful of. We also can do multiple colors on a design. It is strongly discouraged because it is it's more than twice the amount of labor to make a design with 2 colors. So if somebody wanted this, and let's say they wanted a red arrow, blue arrow, red arrow, blue arrow, we could do it. But now we're talking about switching rolls on the vinyl machine, and it's harder to keep track of, a lot of moving parts as far as shipping. So it is something we can do. You can offer it, custom orders. If you have a design you really want to do with it, just go over it with me first and we can talk about it. But it is something we would have to charge for, and we tend to charge a bit more for multiple colors. That really covers sizing and pricing. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email, as always, and I will be happy to go over that with you. Thanks, guys.